Universal Music Group, UMG, took his song and dropped them after. Who you with? Let's listen to the story.
Music group in April of 2020. It was a month after the pandemic hit, but a few months earlier I had released this song called Time. I was really proud of it. It had, I think, 20,000 streams on Spotify, and I got this email from UNext at Universal Music Group. UNext was a program that they had a few years ago. I don't know if it's still running. I guess I would describe it like an internship program for their label. Not really, like you're not like interning at the label, but like if they came across your music and you got on their radar, then I think like the first step before like you're going to be on the Universal Music Group roster was UNext would release your music for you. So they emailed me and they were like, hey, we heard your song Time. We think it's really good. We want to offer you a record deal. But the gist of the deal was that I gave them a percent.
Okay, first thing first. Getting signed don't happen like this typically. So he had one song that was doing well independently. Like I said, 20,000 streams. And someone from the label hit him up. We like that. We like the song. Hey, let's do something. That don't really happen like that. They wait till you to build a whole name. You know, they wait for you to build a whole name and a brand and all this. I don't know if this guy's a big brand. I just saw him. I'm going to learn about him after this video. But so far, so good. They want to sign you. They hear your song. Pretty cool. Let's keep listening.
Percentage of the royalties for the song. So they own the master and they own a percentage of the money that it makes. And in exchange,
hold on, let me hear that again. They
royalties
own the
for the song. So
hold on.
We heard your song Time. We think it's really good. We want to offer you a record deal. But the gist of the deal was that I gave them a percentage of the royalties for the
all right, they get a percentage of the royalties for the song, right?
Song. So they own the master and they own a percentage of the money that it makes. And in exchange,
they get the master. So it is now their intellectual property. Okay, and he got a few $1,000, okay?
I got like a few $1,000 and I get to say that my song is released through Universal Music Group. I used the money on promotion for the song because I really wanted to lean into the traction, and at that point in time I thought that my entire life was going to change. I was like on the couch with my mom crying, picturing a life post-COVID where I would be like touring the world and like connecting with people through my music.
Real quick, man, it's sad that he just said that. So he sold the rights to his song and he'll get some royalties from the song. Okay. Long story short, they own his shit. So, but this is how labels and just people with money play on you. They play on the promise of something happening, not the thing that actually happens. Not that it's gonna actually happen, but they are playing on the promise that it may potentially happen. Whew. This ain't sounding too good. Now he's just a hopeful artist, want to get his art out there, and they played on that. So let's listen.
Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. I do think I spent the money well though. The song has over 1 million streams now. Even though it's not my most listened to song, it was like a redefining moment for my life and for my career. I've always wanted to be a pop star, and up until that point I had just been releasing ballads, like sad songs. And Time for me was kind of like the first step towards making the type of music that I wanted to make, the type of music that I've always wanted to make. So that was a really exciting thing to happen for that debut, I guess. People ask me all the time if I am signed to Universal Music Group. I am not. I am an independent artist still. That was just like a one and done release situation. It was a great experience. I hope that there are more like it in my future. People ask me all the time if I heard from them after, which I did. When the song got transferred to them officially.
Oh, what the heck? It glitched. Hold on, go ahead.
Did. When the song got transferred to them officially, it had to go through like essentially a re-release. So I had to take down the song and then re-release it through Universal Music Group. And when that happened, that's when I did the whole campaign to try to like make this a moment, because I really thought it was going to change my life. So we had a few phone calls in the months that followed, and we talked about upcoming music, and we talked about how the song was doing, we talked about the growth, we talked about how it was going well. Again, at this point I was really wanting to like capitalize on that moment, so I started making a bunch of new music. I had all these demos that I had been working on for months, and I just felt like they weren't good enough because they weren't like that song that Universal liked. So I started making a bunch of music that was kind of in a similar vein, if you will, and they liked it. They gave me good feedback, but nothing ever like, we want to release this or we want to do this again with you, which is totally fine. That's how the industry works.
That's how the industry works, baby. Let's exploit you. They say, give me your song. Here's a few pennies. Here you go, pennies. Take that. Because, you know, now that they own the master, they can do whatever they want to do with it. They can completely strip him of the song. Hey, you want to spit the penny? Okay, give me 1 second, baby. Give me 1 second, okay? They own the song, man. They literally can take another artist and put that artist on that song. They could put that song in movies, TV shows, and get all the money, and not have to pay this guy a single cent because they own the masters from here on out. Like I said, he had to take it down off his Spotify, and then they had to re-release it because it's theirs now. And he had more music he was trying to do, and they said, nope, we just want that song. We don't want you. We just want that one song. That's it. Like I said, that's how the industry works. Let's get what we can get out of you. And when we're done with you, we kick it to the curb. It's okay.
Part of me wonders if I could have done anything differently, but I don't know that I could have. We were on the brink of an unprecedented global pandemic. Like, I highly doubt that the people at Universal Music Group were even really thinking about me at that time. It was probably the most unfortunate time for me to get an opportunity like that. I'm so very grateful for it nonetheless.
That makes sense. Had it not been a pandemic, they may have done more with him. But yeah, during the pandemic, we didn't know what the world was going to come to. That was a crazy time. But long story short, he sold his song for a few bucks. They owned the master. And they were done with him after that. Yeah. You better off being independent, guys and gals, because if you are good at social media, you can have one of your songs go viral, and then a bunch of people are streaming your songs on the regular, thus earning you a nice living. You can go direct to the source, the fans. You don't need a label. But if you want a label for the fame and the Grammys and all that, then sure, sign. They got a lot of power. They got a lot of influence. They got a lot of connections. Yeah. Let's look at some comments. Let's look at what the comments got to say. 1 second. Bam. All right. Dang, they own the whole master? Yeah. No, for real, cuz I also got offered the UNXT thing through email as well, cuz one of my songs had 50K streams at the time and 100,000 YouTube views. And it totally smelled like a scam, so I never replied. Keep going. Definitely made me want to hear the song. Would you say if you signed to another label? Would you say if you signed to another label, always keep your masters? Well, for the most part, you don't have leverage to ask for your masters with a label unless you have a nice, big enough brand to where you can, you have some wiggle room to negotiate with them, Sad. Biggest song, they own the masters, and that's that. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what else you want to talk about, and remember, all this shit is simple. You and I are the problem, but Kellie out.